Hey Dario, hey Raz. No, this is the Sideshow Black Cat LSB Legendary Scale Bust. So it's already a pre-painted item. Gonna mix up some eaves and let it toughen up a bit. Gonna work on Harley's hair. Hey, the customizer. I'm hanging in there. How's things on your end? Just been plugging away this week. Hey, Scott. Music's not coming through too loud, is it? OBS updated on me, and it seems to be... For some odd reason, it seems to be loud as hell. Can you guys hear me, or is my OBS acting up? Like I said, the OBS just updated, and seems to be settings are changed. Alright, yeah, I don't have to mess with it this weekend. It's like, for some odd reason, the music's all the way in the red even when I lower it. As far as this first Sideshow Rogue for a custom Supergirl, will it work? Yeah, the first Sideshow Rogue could be made into anything. I made a bunch of customs off of that statue. The hair on the first Rogue head, sadly, that's all sculpted onto it, so you have to actually Dremel all that off. It's not something you can just sort of pop off. So that's something you gotta Dremel out and rebuild the skull and stuff like that. for the runes in our outfit. I'll have to Dremel that out another time. Just wanted to sort of draw those up. Alright. Sadly, I sliced my finger this week in the worst possible spot, so get the chemicals in my finger. Hey Nelson, thanks man. Yeah, she's getting there. I did a lot of work on the outfit. We're sort of designing up the cape on her a bit. Once we get the cape done, I gotta pick up the mask file off of CG Trader, and then my friend Meta John in Canada is gonna print it out. Kind of weird sculpting with a glove on, but so I did do this little sculpt part right here yesterday or the other day because I had extra. What's up, Raccoon? So for now, let's see if we can sculpt some more onto this. You know what? Let's try do the other side first. So did you guys hear DC made Jim Lee president? That's crazy. Not really, don't think that was a really good idea. He's the one who let all the wackos in, from what I understand. Unless he changes it around, I'll be happy, but... I mean, Jim Lee's been a great artist, but I don't know. I don't know what they're doing over there anymore. Well, you're right. I mean, at this point, I mean, they haven't really done much in the past few years anyway, so I mean, it could only get better, I hope. But I don't know. I mean, I just wish they go back to the original stuff of just heroes versus villains stuff. None of this political crap. Just take all that stuff out of it, and maybe we'll get back to some good old-fashioned comic books. Well, I don't know. Maybe with this strike, if it filters into, you know, the whole Hollywood strike, maybe it'll filter into comic books. And maybe they'll hire some people who know the characters. But yeah, most of them either retired or they moved on to their own stuff, or they went and took other jobs. Who knows what they're doing? But yeah, you're right. A lot of those guys are gone. Those days are gone. Except for the guys that do the animated stuff. I forget their names. They know what they're doing. I mean, hell, the guys who do the animated DC movies should be writing regular movies. I mean, I get a lot of those emails from these comic book companies, and it's just, you know, it's just like all I ever see is a different Spider-Man character on every comic, so there's always just a new Spider-Man character. So I always wonder if there's ever any villains anymore. Is it just that every issue is just another Spider-Man from an alternate universe, and then As far as DC stuff goes, I don't even know what the hell they're doing with DC anymore. Well, I do know what they're doing, but it's not stuff I'm interested in. It's just funny to see that Jim Lee was announced. Yeah, that's the other thing, Raccoon. It's all about that, you know. It's all about that relationship stuff and sexuality. Like, we went through this plenty of times before. I mean, and everyone else talks about it too. I don't know. Hopefully we'll go back to what comics used to be, but we'll see. Well, like I said, the age of video games is here now. It's gonna be all video game movies now for another 10 years. Mario Brothers created that monster. Oh, they're gonna ruin video games. Don't worry. I bet you right now Disney is probably buying up IPs for movies like video game movies like crazy right now. I bet you they got like 20 different video game movies in the works already. The age of Marvel movies is gone. So my guess is we're going to have a good 3 years of video game movies, and then hopefully DC will shock us with some good DC movies. That's my prediction. I could be wrong, but that's my prediction. The reason I say this is because if you watch the comic book market, right now everybody's buying up video game comics and magazines, and now everybody's a gamer, you know. Everyone's like, oh, I've always been a gamer, so now the whole trend is changing. Hellspawn, you saw Guardian, so it was good? It's not X-Men. They're changing the name to the Mutants. Well, if anything, Fantastic Four should have been done first. They were the first family, right? Like, wasn't the Fantastic Four the first for Marvel? Hellspawn, since you saw Guardians, and I guess I don't want to spoil this for anyone who hasn't seen it, but, was Phyla Vale in it? There's a lot of rumors that she was going to be in the movie, so I'm kind of curious if she was. If anyone doesn't want to know, don't read the reply, but I'm kind of curious. Yeah, I'm not planning on seeing it either, at least not for a long time. When it comes out on the line, I'll watch it. Nelson, that's what they're doing? I didn't even look that up yet. It's kind of interesting. Alright, so... hair's got to be puffier. I have to do the back parts of them. Yeah, see, I can't do this side without screwing up this side. I'm gonna have to do this hair once in a while during the week too, otherwise it's gonna take forever to get it done on just Fridays. Gotta let this harden up a bit. Let me see here. I know it's not like the artwork, but I'm doing it my own little way. But what I'm thinking is... too high. And what I'll do is I'll bring some in like this. That way. You know, I'm kind of glad they got Hugh Jackman back, but also it was kind of when they did the Logan movie, when he started finally killing people, I felt like it was just too late. It was like that was something I wanted to see like ages ago, but it took them all that time to make like a Wolverine that was a badass. Because for so long we had PG-13 Wolverine. So in Deadpool, I'm pretty sure he's going to be cutting up a lot of people, but... like, I didn't like the Logan movie at all, except for when Wolverine was just slashing people and stuff. That was It was like basically Wolverine John Wick. It was kind of like that's what I've been waiting for years. Um, and sadly they did it in that type of movie, but at least we got to see him slash people up in something finally. That's what I don't like is they always try to cater to everybody, kids, adults, women, men. It's just make a movie of Wolverine slashing people and you'll make money. Doesn't always have to cater to every single person on the planet. Yeah, I know that's because yeah they own the rights and stuff, and they were like but still, personally, I want to see a John Wick Wolverine. Can't get a good grip on this part. I believe Marvel messed up with Phase 5 anyway. They could have got the X-Men out, Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, but they started going off with all these other characters nobody knows or cares about, so... After the Avengers are gone, X-Men would be the type of team to bring out right away, That's where you're going to make the next batch of money. That's what everyone's waiting for. At least they're all the guys I know, all my friends, they've been waiting for that forever. And then with guys like Patrick Stewart, you want him to be Professor X, not getting any younger. So... bang that stuff out now, but they know better than us, right? Yeah, AI is taking over fast. You know, ever since we talked about that stuff a few weeks ago, I've been looking online, and I'm amazed on how much artwork of AI is out there. Authority? Yeah, I read Authority. I think I read. Oh man, I forgot how many issues I read of that. I went pretty far with Authority. I liked Authority. I thought it was pretty good. I think I still have the trade paperbacks of Authority. I think 1 and 2. Yeah, I've seen these AI animations with like a cosplay girl dancing, but then the AI sort of does all this crazy stuff to the character. And then I saw what the AI can do where if you like take a picture of an outfit and then you take a picture of another character in a different outfit and the AI can actually transform it into the next outfit. It's not like completely clean yet, but I was actually like, holy crap. I'm like, you don't need digital animators anymore. Yeah, Authority, I think the only problem though is all these comic books that have good stories just won't translate into a good movie. Honestly, I would think that Authority would be better in like an animated movie. I don't know. My opinion is everything doesn't have to be live action. I think animated stuff is just as good, you know. So a good animated movie is just as good as a live action to me. I'm actually kind of sick of live action movies because actors always want FaceTime and they always kind of change up the movie to cater to the actor, especially if they're a big name actor. So personally, I would rather have some animated stuff. I believe a lot of actors and actresses ruin a lot of movies because they're like, well, if you're not seeing my face, then I don't want to be in the movie type thing, you know? Pretty soon I even think the voice acting is going to be a thing of the past because the AI is taking that over too. Look at what's going on. What is it over in China or Japan? Like AI's taking over all the jobs. So, hey, what's up, Jacob? Busy week. Busy week. Hopefully yours has been going well. Yeah, I saw that they're doing Transformers. That's the prequel to the animated movie or whatever. Um, I don't know how well that's gonna work, but we shall see. this over here. Yeah, kind of like that. Nah, whatever. Whatever. Hopefully it's good. If it's not good, it'll just be another movie. Another movie no one cares or talks about ever again. Gotta get my blood back in my finger. Alright, so I'm going to have to build out the back here, add a little bit messy stuff up here, and just kind of keep building it. But the back of it's got to be worked out a little bit more. But I think that's working out pretty well. Oh no, I'm adding bangs too. It's a little bit at a time. Bangs will be last, because I have to. I'm at the point now where we add a little bit here, a little bit there, and a little bit here. I can't mess with it anymore because I'll accidentally grab it and squish it. So it's like whenever I do hair like this and I start adding more, I got to do a little bit at a time. So yeah, as of right now, it's just gonna sit here, and then what I might do is if I do any sculpt work next week, maybe I'll add a couple extra strands here and there just to kind of get the sculpt going. Because basically if I save it to Friday, I'm going to do exactly what I just did, where a couple strands here and there, and then I got to leave it alone for the night. So, but then again, I might chisel some stuff out too. You never know. If I don't like this section here, I might chisel this out a little bit, or I don't know. I'm thinking I might this part right here is kind of bothering me a bit, so I might kind of cut this in a little bit and rebuild it in there somewhat. But I don't want it to be like this, exactly looking like this side. I want it to be messy on both sides, so that's why I'm building it different ways, just to make it look weird. That's all. So since I have a little extra A's, I'm still kind of using it for my Power Girl base. I have to sort of build the key on her foot again. So I'm sort of just being messy with the eaves so I can put the foot into here, create my key, and then I can Dremel it out afterwards. Because it's easier to make a key with having sort of a wall to push it against than to try to push the key into here. So that's kind of why I'm creating a weird looking wall. No, I don't have to do any kind of crazy paper clip stuff for these types of hairs. I mean, they can break off. You know, the hair pieces can break off on her, but I put a rod going in here all the way into the head so it doesn't snap there. You know, these pieces can snap, but not as worse as, you know, that snapping without a rod in there. So, got my little weird looking wall. Start building out the key. Alright. So I'm kind of in the mood. So I figure I'll work on her abs tonight. So before we mix everything up, let's get situated. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do a strand, you know, going down the face, just like Sideshow does, you sort of need to build a rod. So, like, just think of this as, you know, if you're going to build a strand coming down, you want to, like, Dremel a hole in there, and then put a rod in there, and then sort of, you know, have a rod holding it up. It's, you know, it all depends on the eaves too. I mean, if you're going to do a really thick piece and it's not going to break, you can get away with it. But if you want to do a rod, it'll just add more support. But even adding rods into these pieces, you still can, because people break them all the time, even with Sideshow stuff. Hey, Wells. So stuff breaks all the time. So the rod is just a little extra support, but it's not going to make it perfect forever, you know? Like, for instance, this head here, right? This head here. So I had to repair this guy. So there's little tiny rods in these little hair pieces, but they still broke anyway. So I still had to repair this for somebody, so. But we're getting there, little by little on this hair. I'm gonna have to, I did add the badge on her shoulder. So the badge is here. So I just have to kind of clean that up. Yeah, not all Sideshow stuff is actually rods in there. Sometimes they're PVC. So, like, say this for example, right? This Power Girl, these are very fragile. So these can snap, but this is more of a, this hair is more of like a PVC almost. It's like a stronger PVC than it is resin, because if this was like resin, this would snap easier. But see how there's like a little bit of give here? So it's kind of more of a, it's more of a plastic than a resin. So I think Sideshow's starting to get a little bit better with these types of strands, but also make it more of a plastic than a resin. So this feels more plasticky than resin, but even the head feels a little bit more, but the head, it's hollow actually in here. Because I popped off the regular head, and I've been, you know, I'm just kind of building out the skull to recreate it from my bombshell version. So this whole entire inside here was hollow, so I had to rebuild it all. I'm actually looking at abs right now. I got some pictures of abs. I don't want to give her crazy strong abs, but I don't want it to look bland. So I'm going to try to find a middle ground to sort of follow. Some of these pictures I can't put on the screen because YouTube would not like it. I think I'll follow this one. This one picture I got. Sort of follow that. I'm waiting for a package too, and I know what's going to happen. I'm going to mix up my A's, and then I'm going to get ready, and it's going to come. So... Alright, so with this one, I grinded down her hips a little bit more. So I grinded these in a little bit more. So I think it should work, and then you can see how flat it is down here. So what I'm thinking of doing is, after I build this out a little bit, I think I'm going to grind this back here a little bit more. Not much, but just a little bit here. So it brings her hourglass in a little bit more. Alright, so I don't need to mix up that much A's. So I don't think I need to build out her stomach and abs that much. Just enough. Hoping that'll be enough. So I guess we're going to go with the under boob look to her. Is that what everybody kind of wanted last time? Basketball, I'm just going to go on to CG Trader, and I'm going to ask my friend Meta John to print me out one. I remember back in the day, now this was back in the day, I remember as a kid, they always used to have like little tiny basketball toys. They were actually like a tiny basketball. I was gonna see if they actually have those online anymore. If they had something that was like a soft rubber basketball, I could kind of like squeeze it and put it into there. If not, I'll just have my friend print me out one, that's all. Yeah, okay, so we're going with the under boob look, which is fine. I think once I get her abs done, what I want to do is, I got to get the other arm kind of cleaned up. Once I get the abs done and the arm cleaned up and everything's kind of better in the midsection with the arms, that's when we'll attach the head and we'll rebuild the whole boobs and then the neck and everything on her too. Because we have to sculpt out the neck muscle, so I gotta plan all that out. You can't really start building the boob section and then do the neck later. It's kind of be the way to do it all in one shot. Now, one thing I did have to do on this sculpt, and I didn't realize it until I painted up my old Power Girls, is I had to sand down this leg. This leg had the same issue with the Wonder Woman, where I guess it was casted up so many times, the leg started having all these weird, like, divots. So I had to sand all this down to make it smooth again. Which, I'm kind of glad I saw it for this one. I gotta wear a rubber glove for this. This thing is cutting off my circulation. It's so damn tight. I don't know. Are they different sizes, or are they all like the same size? No, they're all the damn same size, I guess. I don't know. Are they? Oh, okay. There's medium, small, and large. Okay, that's why I sliced my finger in this direction instead of this direction. So whenever I put my finger onto something, it like splits it back open. It's a pain in the ass. Okay, that's better. Alright. That'll work. That'll work. Alright, so this picture again. Alright. So I think the best way to do this sometimes is to put the whole thing on there. So, because it's kind of a habit where whenever I try to put eaves on here and then I try to add eaves on top of that to fill out section, the eave starts to push in wrong directions. It's kind of hard to explain. So like, say when you're, this goes for like clay too, I guess. So say you sculpted this, right? And you needed to build up a little bit more. When you push eaves onto it, and then you try to blend it out, like, all your eaves is squishing all over the place, so it doesn't really build up that much, so it's kind of a pain in the ass like that. So we're going to try this way first, see how this works out. And the reason why I'm doing this with eaves and I grind it all out, because chopping up the polystone and trying to buff it and sculpt and Dremel, it's a nightmare. So polystone's a pain in the ass to do this stuff too. I chop this down too. Chop down everything. It should just be easier to go from scratch. No, it's kind of just better to sculpt from scratch and just do what I'm doing here. I've tried to do it with A's without, you know, A's and try to build out all the stuff with the polystone. It becomes too much of a hassle. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to start like drawing the muscles, and I'll show you in a second once we get the E's on here. Sort of kind of start lining up our stuff, because the old saying is if you can draw, you can sculpt. It's kind of what I'm going to start doing. Let's just get this evened out. Alright, so as you can see, it's like flat on the side. But if we get a picture, so find the belly button first, and the belly button is usually about, let's get a tool first. There is, I will use this. So belly button's probably right about there. We're right about there. So if you look at a lot of the upper hip, probably yeah. Alright. And normally you have a line from the belly button going up this way, and then from the belly button a little bit of a little punch like that, right? Now if you look from the side, it's still flat. So the way stomachs usually work is this sort of comes in a bit and then it comes up. Usually the way it works is the stomach, you know, the muscles, and it comes into the belly button and it comes up and around. So usually how they work on women's stomachs. And this comes in, so there's a lot here I need to take down. Alright, and the next thing is kind of just keep working it so we start to build that draw. You don't have to really cut it, but like so. Here we go back to my other picture. Where's the other one? There we go. So kind of rib cage, right? And the rib cage. Alright. Let's make sure we go back to where that belly button was. Alright, so then the next step is usually right about here. It's kind of where the first abs almost go. Alright. Making sure we look on our sides. And then usually from the belly button, a little bit over the belly button, it's kind of where the next part of the abs go. And then we sort of cut this part in. So basically it's just kind of like drawing. Just gotta kind of find those spots. Kind of curves in a little bit too. Yeah, whatever, Wells, that's fine. Gotta take care of your business. Basically, you just got to keep, get the camera out of my way. Basically, bring this down a little bit. Gotta just be careful, it's like really soft resin at the moment still. I mean, Aves. Well, the way I look at it is there's a reason why I'm doing all this. One, it's good practice. Two, I would like to make sure it's in proportion for me, only because I feel that if I sit here and I'm like, oh, okay, it's just going to look like this, and then when I put the shorts on, all of a sudden it's not looking right, you know? I would rather everything be correct, because a lot of sculptors, you know, when they sculpt stuff, they always sculpt everything in proportion, and then they start putting everything, the outfit and all the other stuff on. So it's kind of better to have everything right, plus practicing can't hurt. It's not like I get to do this a lot, so I figure, what the hell. Like I said, I'm not trying to make her jacked either, but I'm going to try to give her some kind of abs. And also, probably should start putting light on this so I can see a little bit better where I'm going with it. Can't hurt the practice. This is still too tight. Damn. Now what'll happen is, when I've done this in the past, I never get it perfect on the first shot. So what I'll have to do is go in there with some putty, and I'll go in there and sand and sort of kind of clean up some areas. So it's not gonna be like perfect once I'm done, but it'll get there. Kind of hard to do this without my finger. You know what we'll do? That works. Well, perfect means it's not going to be completely smooth. It's going to take me a few tries with some putty work to sort of clean up some stuff, sand it down. As long as the main part of it's like I'm happy with where it's at, then I'm good to go. But you know, there's going to be some brush strokes in here when I'm done, so that's going to get cleaned up. And then if there's any areas that are too, like if there's like a little tiny divot in here or something, I could get in there and sort of putty it up. So I'm not trying to make her jacked in the stomach, but I don't want it to look too bland either. Yeah, you know, this is something I don't do very often, so it's good practice, kind of, and then sort of sand down afterwards, clean up, prime. So I like to do projects like this once in a while where I can get some skills up and practice, sort of get used to doing this stuff. Alright, so you kind of see on the side, let me see, make sure I got the camera right. So you see how it's kind of trying to get a little bit of the swoop thing going. And then probably when I sand it down, it might work a little bit better too. So that's kind of the way, you know, muscle women basically like all women's stomachs go. They have that little paunch, I guess, right there. Whether they like it or not, it's there. If you look at a lot of sculpts out there, sideshow and stuff, on the side of the statue, they mostly have it, you know, on the side. You usually see that little curving thing go. Oh no, the 709's got a decent main body, so there's no reason to rebuild abs on her. She's got more of the softer abs, you know, where it's just like lines going on the center and then on the side, so there's no like abs really popping out. It's just that simple sculpt. If you look at the statue online, if you look at the Vampirella statue, you can see her abs in there. Very simple. I'm just trying to give her a little bit of abs, but not too crazy. I want to have her a little bit muscular, just to go with the rest of the body, since we got like stronger arms and legs. So it would look kind of weird just having a simple ab going up. But like I said, it's also practice. I'm pretty sure people would like to see abs on it. No, for the 709, I'm just gonna build in those rib cages and then add wrinkles like an outfit, and that's pretty much where we're going. When I'm pretty much going with it. So, hey, what's up, Hangerbird? Just worked on Harley's hair a bit. Just working on her abs at the moment now. Just I'm like in the mood to work on this. It's just one of those days where like I really want to do this. So usually when I get in that mood, I'm like I better work on it because I kind of, you know, want to dive in there and start working on this specific item. Now, one of the things is her leg. I buy cheap brushes that are basic. I don't know, what are they? Just regular cheap brushes. Whenever there's a sale, at this Jerry store, these brushes are usually the cheapest ones, and usually one brush gets me through like 1 or 2 sculpts, depending on how much Aves I use, and if if I'm working for a couple hours on an item and I'm not really cleaning up the brush, they get caked up and go to hell. But if I do little stuff here and there and I kind of clean the brush, I can go through a couple sculpts. So it all depends on, yeah, I'm not sitting there buying like $10 brushes for this stuff. These are, if I get lucky, these brushes used to be like $1.60 a piece, but with inflation they probably went up a lot more. But back in the day they were fairly cheap. But I think the last time I bought them, they were like $2 something a piece. I saw the the hips go in, curve in, and then curve around the muscle. So it's kind of like another curve. It'll probably get sanded down a little bit, but for now we can sort of build up. The reason why I'm wearing the glove is I sliced my thumb, so I don't want to get all the safety solvent in my finger. It's not a bad slice. It's a very, very like paper cut slice, but it's in the worst possible angle. So I just don't feel like burning every time I touch Aves. I tried these things that you get at CVS, but they're cutting off my circulation. Are too tight. Yeah, if it was sliced this way, it would heal up faster, but it's sliced this way, so every time I grab something or hit my thumb, it just pulls it back open. So I've been dealing with that for the past 2 days. I don't even know how I did it. I just went to grab something in the garage, and I think whatever it was like just hit it at the right angle. Normally I don't give a shit, it heals up pretty fast, but like I said, it's at the worst angle possible. So alright, so you can kind of see I built out this hip a little bit here and kind of creating that little, I think we'll do a little bit with this one too. Exaggerating the hips a bit. Can't hurt. And the other thing is I've been sanding in the garage for the past week. Like I was working on at LSB and I was working on some other items. I sanded down my fingertips so much that I couldn't hit the button on my phone. It wouldn't read my fingertips. So I think that's why my fingers split. I was over there hitting the iPad and the phone, and I'm like, "What the hell?" And then I looked at my finger, and it was just grinded off. Hey, what's up, Hulk? Starting to shape up a little bit, getting there. Yep, this was Power Girl. Chopped her down a lot. So this is like her waist back here was a lot. You know, this arm had the glove on, the boots. So just one of those items I got at a good price, and we're just using it for a custom. This is the way things go. The days of buying something brand new for a custom are kind of over. Prices have gotten too crazy. But a lot of the older stuff is starting to get damaged. People are starting to get rid of them. So supposedly my one friend, I do work for him. He's the guy that drop kicks everything on his floor. Supposedly he got a Catwoman for me, really cheap. So that's another idea, custom down the line. The one with the outfit, the one I've done a couple customs on. I came across somebody selling it really cheap, and since I do repairs for him, he was like, "I'll get you the statue as a trade-off." I said that works. He doesn't believe in shells, so he's always going to kick his items that are on the floor. Yeah, the first one. The one with the cloth. There's only one with the cloth. The one that I've taken the cloth off and did the latex stuff onto. Hey, what's up, Iceman? Yeah, and actually that one with the cloth is still my favorite Catwoman because the anatomy on that Catwoman once the cloth is off is absolutely amazing. I love that statue, so that'll be a future item for a custom down the line. I actually have one here that I'm using for a personal custom, but since he said he found me another one, it can't hurt to have a second one, you know? Can't hurt. How many? Well, you got the OG stuff, which was the Thor, Captain America, Spider-Man, Hulk, the OG stuff, the Doom. A lot of those cloths are either deteriorating or yellowing. The later ones for mostly, I guess, would be the DC OG stuff was the Superman, Batman, Catwoman, Harley, Joker. They didn't do it for Wonder Woman though. Yeah, so I guess those would be considered the OG DC stuff, I guess. Hulk, yeah, I got a lot of stuff I'm working on for myself. I started the Power Girl sideshow ones during the garage. Whenever I have free time or I take a day for myself, I work on those. I have a bunch of other items I'm going to be working on for myself throughout the next year or so. I got a lot of stuff going on, but you got to focus on commissions first. It's catch up year. Once I catch up on stuff, then I'll try to focus on some more of my own stuff here and there. Can you guys hear me? Did my audio go? Like I said, OBS updated on me today, so it could be acting weird. I actually got a She-Hulk kit in the mail. I haven't done the review yet. Hopefully I can try to get it up next week. It's the one, I don't know if you guys follow We Are Collectors on Instagram. The She-Hulk's like this. She's got her hands in front of her like that. So that's gonna be that's for me. That's my kit. That's gonna be for my own collection. Yeah, she's got her leotard outfit on with the jeans that are cut low and the boots, and her hair's flipped over to one side. It's a really nice kit. It's really big. The base is a little bit too big for me though, so I think I'm just gonna make a generic smaller base for her. But I'll do a garage kit review on her when I get a chance. But I'm not gonna be able to paint her for a while though. I got so much other stuff you know, like I got to get done first. But yeah, the guy who produced it's a really nice guy, so I'm actually looking forward to it if I ever get a chance. I think if I can really get caught up on a lot of my own stuff, like the commissions, I can start doing some personal stuff that's really should be really fun stuff to work on. Hey JC, how you been? There's been a couple Nova kits, but I don't know about flying though. I know I think there was one out there recently. I've been busy. Just getting work done. Nothing real exciting has been going other than me building my new display cases, but other than that, once that's done, been quiet. Quiet's good. Quiet is a nice change of pace finally. Marvel characters, honestly, I don't really, I got all my grails. You know, I did my, Genis Vale, Phyla Vale. As far as, I'm going to be working on my Sage from Extreme X-Men. Once I get that, CBS Labs, Black Queen kit. You know, I don't know if you guys seen it, the one where she's it's Jean Grey as Black Queen sitting on that chair. So I contacted CB Labs when he showed it off like a year ago, and I'm going to turn that into my Sage from Extreme X-Men. I got my Nate Gray X-Men kit already. So that's, as far as Marvel goes, that's about it. For as far as DC stuff goes, I gotta make gotta finish. Oh, I also my Hyperion. I'm still working on the Hyperion. As DC goes, I want to make a Bombshell Kid Flash. I gotta finish up my my 3 Power Girls, 4 Power Girls actually, because I gotta redo the original. Then that kit I printed, and then after that, I got some random ideas here and there for stuff, but they're like way down the line. So. Yeah, Jacob, parents are doing okay. We're hopefully they get the call for the senior place. It seems that they're up next for rotation finally. So if we get the call, we can move them into the senior place, which would be absolutely great. They're ready to move out of the house. Can't handle it anymore. So if we get the call, that'll be kind of something that takes up some time for me, but it's not going to be like months. You know, and then that's pretty much it. Yeah, I've had the see, I'm still wearing a hooded sweatshirt right now, and I've had the heat on too for the past 2 weeks. Um, it's absolutely weird. This time last year, I had the windows open. I was sneezing like crazy, but at night by me, it's been like 40 to 35 degrees at night. It's been crazy. They keep saying global warming, but where the hell is it? Oh, they'll be fine. They're ready to get out of the house. You know, they can't handle it anymore. You know, when you get older and you have a house and the upkeep, you know, that's why people always say, you know, older people, you know, the house goes to hell. You know, hell, I got a house here, and it's a pain in the ass for me to keep this up at my age now. So when you get older, scale down. Don't get stuck in a large house when you get older, guys. Trust me. Not that my parents have a large house, but still. Scale down when you can. Yeah, we it was about what 3 weeks ago. We had a really crazy like good spring days, and I was actually in the garage. I cleaned the garage. Um, it was and then all of a sudden we went back to the cold. I don't know what happened. And I want the heat. I'm sick of this. You know, I don't want to keep having the heat on and wearing sweats at night and stuff. It's a pain in the ass. I want that heat to come. You know, I got all the stuff ready too to spray down the grass to try to keep the weeds down this summer, and I got all this stuff ready. It's been raining and it's like 50 out. I bought a electric mower 2 years ago. It was a mistake. The battery is 2 years old already, and it still doesn't hold it. I have a small lawn, like literally, I have a really small lawn. Um, Literally, it takes with the old gas mower I had. Well, I never had a mower. I had a weed whacker. Like a weed whacker, cutting my lawn takes like a half hour. That's how small it is. But the electric lawnmower battery just doesn't even last half the lawn now. So I thought it would save me time and money. It doesn't even cut right either. So I'm ready to. I'm at the point now, since I live by the shore. I'm ready just to call a company to pour rocks all over my property and just be done with it. You know, down here by the shore you get away with that. You don't need a lawn because you're basically on sand. And when I say I'm on sand, I'm not like right by the water. I'm like a couple miles away from the water, but still everything is on sand. Well, the problem is right behind my house in this direction, like there's 6 feet of property I own, which is like nothing, like not like, I don't know, maybe it's less than 6 feet, so I don't really have a backyard. And then there's a little fence and it's all woods, but there's a swamp back there. So basically, I have enough critters and spiders and mosquitoes all over the damn place. So Castar? Well, that's the problem with Aves. After 3 hours, it starts to cure. So, what were you trying to build with Aves? So, if you're trying to do gap filling with Aves, Aves isn't really a gap filler material, per se. It is, but it isn't. I mean, I'm working with A's right now. Oh, so you tried to fill parts in the 3D model. See, I guess the other thing is, do you have your safety solvent? Did you soften it up, or did you just mix it and try to fill it that way? Yeah, see, you can't use water or alcohol with A's, and you can't use it. And I would not use Vaseline on anything. I personally do not use Vaseline on any of my stuff. I would stay away from Vaseline only because I feel that if you have Vaseline on your finger, you get on a desk and you don't clean it, and then if you accidentally touch that when you go to paint, your paint's not going to stick to the item. So I don't use Vaseline. No, it's fine. So Castar, this is, you know, you gotta learn somehow, you know. So yeah, like Eric just said in chat, what I do, if I have small gaps, like if I have really small gaps, I use Tamiya putty. So I'll show you right now. So say there is a gap, get yourself one of these rubber tools, you know, one of these like rubber tip tools, alright? And say we have a, I have to take down these wrinkles anyway, because she's not going to have wrinkles there. So say you want to fill up these wrinkles in her arm. Maybe we can see better without the light. So you see how there's wrinkles there? So if you grab your rubber tool, and you get some of your putty, you can fill up your gap this way. So you can actually fill up your gap this, and then you can let this dry, which takes about, I don't know, this stuff dries fairly fast. You just don't want to breathe this stuff in when you sand it down. And then if it still is not filled up right away, you know, after it dries a little bit and you do some sanding, you can take your rubber tool again and you can fill it in again, you know. And then, like, you know, you can fill it in this way. So this Tamiya basic gray putty is really good for like gap filling. Now, if you have a larger gap, okay, a larger gap. So let's do I have something here I can, let's see if I can find something. Usually has stuff laying around. Alright, we can use this, I guess. No, it's fine. So Castar, so Costar. That I don't know what I'm saying. I can't see that well from far away. So safety solvent. Aves makes a safety solvent. So you want to use safety solvent with Aves only. You don't want to use alcohol. You don't want to use water. Water destroys Aves. Stay away from water. Aves soaks up the water, and what happens is if you keep using the water, it'll soak it and soak it and soak it, and then when it cures, it becomes very brittle and it gets really nasty. So basically, what you want to do is you want to get your safety solvent, and safety solvent, what it'll do is it'll make your Aves really, really soft, and it makes it so really, really soft. Like you get it, like right now, it almost feels like chewing gum. Okay, so it's like really like chewing gum right now. And then if you put more in there, like more Aves, it even gets to the point where it's almost starting to feel like a really hard toothpaste, right? So say there's this gap right here you want to fill in. When you put this over on here, you put that in your gap, and then you dip your finger in safety solvent, and then basically you can just smooth over that area in that thing. And it just goes right over it, nice and smooth. You know, and then if you want to fill in this area here, you dip your finger in the safety solvent, and then you can just smooth in that gap. And it stays fairly thick. Now, if you're, you know, if you don't want to get your fingers in the safety solvent, you can wear gloves, but get yourself safety solvent. The reason why I have red is because I always prime everything in gray. So because I can see the red over the gray. It's just a color Aves. So it's not like it's any different. But I feel that the red is easier to see compared to like gray on gray or the natural color. So I just use red. And the reason why it's pink though is because I mixed in a little bit of Fix-It Sculpt into it. Because Fix-It Sculpt is a little bit tougher, meaning that when you use Fix-It Sculpt, like when you mix Fix-It Sculpt and you want to have something stick out, it doesn't like sag down. Whereas like when you mix a fresh thing of Aves, it goes down like this right away. So Fix-It sort of has a little bit of an extra strength into it, meaning it's not going to sag on you as much. Yeah, JC, we're not doing, we're doing realistic Lola Bunny. We're not doing, furry bunny. No problem. That's why I stream, so you can see what I'm doing and ask questions. I'd rather stream, show you guys what I'm doing and answer the questions on stream than type it out on an email to 30 different people every other day. I don't mind helping people, but it becomes sort of a pain. Oh, my friend just texted me. So Phyla is in Guardians. Sorry if I spoiled that for anyone, but that's one of my favorite characters, and I gotta read up on that. So I guess I gotta see Guardians now, just to see how they portrayed her. Nah, that's fine, Jacob. I sometimes when people do email me, I usually tell them, like, you know, if you can pop in the stream and I'll show you real time what I'm trying to explain. So sometimes people are able to come in and sometimes people aren't. Or I direct them to a YouTube video I made. It's not that I'm telling people to F off, it's just that, you know, I try to help as many as I can, but without wasting too much time when emailing. So cast art, I'm not really sure what you're trying to say. I mean, are you trying to build it while you paint, or are you painting? I'm not saying you can't use Vaseline. I'm just saying I don't use it. I don't like having Vaseline anywhere on my desk. I don't like having that oil residue anywhere that I might actually get onto a item. And then, you know, if Vaseline, like even if you have scratches on an item and you put Vaseline on there and you think you wipe it away, those Vaseline could be in those scratches. It's just a personal preference of mine. but I'm not sure what you're saying. If you could try to explain a little bit better. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Yeah, Jacob. People all the time watch the stuff that I do for them. Either they catch up on it or sometimes they're in the stream but they're working, so. Yeah, I put everything together if I can. I like to have all my parts together. But I don't use Vaseline, I use Silly Putty. So if you put it all together and you want to paint your item up, I use Silly Putty, the mask. So if you've seen in my video, so it's like, say there's something over here you have to paint, but you don't want to get paint over here and you have to kind of glue it. Yeah, Silly Putty from the eggs, but if you go on the Crayola store, you can order a 5-pound brick of this stuff. So go onto my YouTube channel and look up Silly Putty masking, and I'll show you, and I show you how to mask with Silly Putty. So yeah, if there's a piece that's broken or you have to attach it together, and it's easier to attach it before you paint it, I would actually attach it first, and then I would putty everything and I would make it look good, prime it up, and then I would paint. That's what I would do. That's usually what I do, period, so. Crayola store no longer sells it? Are you sure? Let me look up. Alright, what you do is the last time this happened to me with Silly Putty on the Crayola site, I actually called them up and I said I'm looking for the 5-pound brick Silly Putty, and what the lady told me on the phone was they'll have to re-add it to the site. So I guess what happens is sometimes a lot of people don't buy it, so they take it off the site, but I called them up and I said, hey, I'm looking for a 5-pound brick of Silly Putty, you used to have it, and then they added it back to the site. So I would actually call them up and try. It can't hurt to call them up and say, hey, you used to have a 5-pound brick, I would like to order one, and you know, see what happens. Oh, so if they're going through Amazon now, maybe they decided to stop selling on their site. Let me look on Amazon. If it's on Amazon, then you can get it there. That's actually kind of curious. Silly putty. Come on, silly putty. I guess we'll say brick. No, let's say 5 pound. You could buy a 1 pound egg on and they have a 1 pound for like 30 bucks. So they have a 1 pound for $27. So if you buy 5 pounds, you're spending about, yeah, the 5 pound bricks used to be $90, but the last one I bought was like 5 years ago. So with inflation, yeah, so you could buy a 1 pound brick. So Cassie, yeah, if you're new to it, that's fine. It's a learning curve. You know, you started small, you're working larger, so it's just a matter of practicing and get used to it. I mean, my advice is if you're going to buy the silly putty, just don't get 1 pound. Get the money, buy as much as you can now. It's going to last you a long time, and it's better to have it now while you can than some stupid supply chain issue or another pandemic or something stupid happens where you can't find it. So if you got the money, get yourself at least 2 pounds, 3 pounds. It's better to have it than not have it. And then what I do is I have a couple containers of quality. So good silly putty, really crappy putty, and really, really crappy putty, you know? So you can still reuse the putty over and over and over. It doesn't go bad. And it's always good to have an extra supply of super fresh stuff in a box, which I do at the bottom. So silly putty is I feel is the best masking tool ever for statues. I love it. I don't use tape. And silly putty doesn't stick to anything. You just gotta get used to using it. That's all. Yeah, you can find the eggs, but I guess it's because I do more volume than you guys, and I do this for a living. Whereas, you know, if you get 3 eggs, you're only getting about like maybe this much out of this container. But if you get a 5 pound brick, you know, you can stretch it and you can use it around your item and you can reuse it. I feel that it's better to buy it in bulk and cheaper than buying it in the eggs. But if you're only doing like you know, 3-4 hours a week on a kit, and you're not really building like I am, it's okay to buy a couple eggs. I just, you know, being in this hobby for so long, I've come to the conclusion it's better to buy it in bulk and buy it when you can get it than to wait later. There's too many times you know, especially even before pre-pandemic, where I'd be like, oh, I'll get it later, and then when I go to get it, it's off the site, or the price has gone up, or, you know, I just feel that it's better to get it when you need it. Yeah, like Eric, if you're doing smaller stuff, the eggs are fine. You know, you also buy within your means. But me, I have a habit of getting something and then you can never find it again. So Oh yeah, the Archifying Transfer decal, the guy retired. I do have a couple for sale on my site. If you're looking for a couple sheets, I have some for sale. I put them up on eBay too if you want to just go through eBay, whatever you feel safer with. But I did find another guy that sent me a sheet of eye decals I have to do a video on. I haven't had a chance to. So once I get that video up, you'll be able to go to that guy's site and buy decals. So... But yeah, when the guy Woody from Archer told me that he was going to be retiring and he's shutting down the business, I bought up a bunch of sheets. So I got a bunch of sheets for myself, but I also got some extras for people who might have missed out on them. So... yeah, I think the 1 pound is pretty much the only thing out there now, so... But yeah, they used to have the 5-pound bricks, which are great. I mean... Oh, he didn't want to give it to you, Eric? Yeah, I can't blame him. I mean, he worked on that stuff for years. I mean, you know... Unless, did you offer to buy them, or did you offer to, just wanted the files? Yeah, that's why I bought extra too. When he told me he was going out, I was like, oh crap. So I bought a bunch myself. But like I said, I found somebody else contacted me that makes eye decals, so I'm gonna test them in a video, and if they work out, that'll be a good alternative for everybody. I just feel bad I haven't gotten to the video yet for the guy, but he reached out to me and he sent me a sheet. Looks pretty good so far. So maybe what I'll do is I'll try next week to get the video going. So this way that people who may have missed out on ID decals, they can contact this guy or go to his site. Alright, so I think as far as the abs are going, I'm pretty happy with that. It's got a good point to the side. What'll happen next is once it cures up, I can buff it, and then I can see if I screwed up on anything. If I need to like fill a little A's in, or if I need to sand something down. But like I said, I didn't want to cut the abs too much. I didn't really want to like slice into them and make her too strong. But I'm pretty happy with where we're at with it. I didn't have a chance to ask Woody if he was going to sell the company. Maybe some people approached him, or maybe he approached some people, but they couldn't agree on anything. I'm not really sure. But like I said, somebody else contacted me and they sent me a sheet. So I'll do a quick video on testing it, and if it's a good alternative, everyone could go to this guy and buy them. And the guy just reached out to me. He just said, hey man, I heard that you couldn't find Archer transfer decals, blah blah blah. I sell sheets, so they look pretty good, so I think it's a good alternative. Oops. The sides. Cool. Yeah, when he told me early on before he made the announcement, because he wanted to get everybody that was a reseller or people that he worked with in the past with stuff first dibs. So I gave him a good order of stuff that I wanted for myself, and then because he's like, don't tell anyone because we can't handle the orders yet. And then when he announced it, that's when I told everybody on chat, you know, and on videos and stuff. Or people that are in the hobby, I was like, hey man, if you want eye decals, hit them up now while you can. So, yeah, but you can't blame the guy. When you want to retire, you want to retire, right? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm just going to do the video and I'm going to just direct people to the guy's site. And that's it. I can't say whether he is or not, but you know, at least he reached out to me. Yeah, it's this piece here. It's just bothering me. Yeah, it's not cut right. I have to cut it a little bit deeper. Also could be the reflection because it's wet. Also, when I sand it down, I'll have a better idea of what I did with it, so. It's a little bit better. Like I said, if you can draw, you can sculpt. Not that I can really draw, but it's kind of like I am drawing with the paintbrush, which makes it easier for me. Where other guys sit there and they can scoop out, you know, stuff like that. Sandpaper, I use all kinds to get where I want it, but most of the sandpaper I use is 120, and I use a lot of the 3M sandpaper stuff. And then if I feel that, you know, I need to cut in a little bit of this area, or this needs to be cut, or I kind of screwed something up, you know, I'll sandpaper a little bit rougher there, and then I'll buff it out with this. So, like, I sort of sand and sculpt too, if that makes sense. But I mean, there's other guys out there that can pop clay and they can sculpt like no tomorrow, and it's amazing. I can only go as this far with this stuff. But I'm pretty happy with it so far. Looks a little bit better than what it was. Now I'm not actually looking at a real female. I'm looking at some of these digital drawings. And the reason why I'm doing that is because they exaggerate stuff, so it's kind of easier to see what I need to push in and push out type sculpt. So. Yeah, like I said, I think that's pretty good. I'll, so you know what it is I'm getting a reflection because it's so wet with the safety solvent. So every time I'm looking at it, I think like, oh, that's messed up, but then when I turn it, it looks right. So, Aves takes about a good 8 hours to fully cure. In about 3 hours, it's tough. So what did we start this? Probably about an hour ago. So we're kind of really starting to get tough. So once your Ave starts to get tough like this, You can still bring it back to life with some safety solvent, so you can mix in some safety solvent and sort of soften it back up a bit after about an hour or so. But usually after 3 hours, A's is kind of like, it's kind of at that point where it's just tough as hell and you're kind of done. I usually let everything cure overnight before I do anything else to it. So see how it's kind of getting softer back up again. So it was tough, but now we're getting soft again. But the problem is if you let this dry again for another 20 minutes and then you want to soften it up again, what happens is it starts to become very, very tacky. So you can only bring it back to life so often and so long. Because once it really hit that 3 hour mark, it's really starting to cure up. But once it's cured, it's, you know, like this stuff I did the other days, and it's, you know, hard as a rock. You can't do anything to it, you know. I mean, even trying to hit like an X-Acto blade in it, it's kind of really hard to cut. So it becomes strong as all hell. But like a lot of my projects, I have extra stuff sitting around that I use. Any extra A's like this, it goes toward filler. So this is a personal project. So anytime I have extra A's, just slap it on here so I don't waste the material. Let me wash my hands real quick. Let me wash out my brushes because they need a little wash real quick too as well. Let's see how the Harley head is doing. Alright, so we did the Harley head a while ago. The camera would stay down. Let's put this over here real quick. So the A's toughened up pretty well by now. So basically we can sort of push the A's while it's tough. Sort of get this part a little bit like that. And then this part right here, kind of, that's the cool thing about A's though. Once you, if it starts getting tougher, you can actually start playing with it if you need to. So trying to sculpt A's like this piece kind of coming out like this would be just a nightmare. But this we did what? Probably, when did we start the stream? I don't know, what are we at, the 3 hour mark, 2 hour mark, something like that? So once A's starts toughening up, you can actually start playing with it with stuff like that. So And I can bend back like that. And then if you really wanted to, if you could, and it wasn't sticking to it, you can actually pop this piece up, come off the item. About 2 hours? Okay. Yeah, so like when it starts toughening up, you can use that to your advantage too. So, I mean, if I really wanted to, I could cut this off, but we'll just kind of so, and then so that's kind of like good things about doing hair. You know, you do a little bit of your hair, you walk away, come back when it's tougher, and then you can sort of start playing with it, and you can bring it up, and it might sag back down if it's still soft, but if you really sit there for that, you know, 2-3 hours, you can really start playing with the A's a bit, and it can, you know, stay where you want it to. And I can bring something over here and bring it around there, and just kind of keep playing with it. So we're going to really try to make bushy hair. Alright, so I got my package, and let's see if they're CGC books from my own display. So let's see if CGC screwed everything up. I'm going to put on a better pair of gloves to open this stuff up. So long story short, a long time ago I sent in a bunch of books to CGC to get graded, and when I got them in, I didn't realize it until about a month ago they mislabeled them. So I sent them in to get corrected, and I think they mislabeled them again. Let's see what happened. I have a funny feeling they screwed up the label. Alright. Oh, okay, they didn't. They corrected it. Alright, cool. Alright, so anyway, I'm a huge Adam Hughes fan, and when he did this, this cover, I absolutely fell in love with it. So I actually sent one in to get signed, but I bought 2 sets and I sent them in. I didn't think they would come back as 9/8, but they did. So no, I didn't pay for it. They paid for everything to correct it. So what happened was, this is the version cover, and then this is the title cover. What happened was, when I sent these in, they labeled these as version and this one as the title. And if I was ever to send these in, like sell these on eBay or something, what would happen is people would be like, hey, it's mislabeled, you're, you know, blah blah blah. So I sent them in and they corrected them, thank God. Now you're probably asking, why did I send in 4 to get graded? Like I said, I didn't think they would all come back as 9/8, but all 4 came back as 9/8. But I sent in a version one to CGC to get signed by Adam Hughes. So I don't know if you guys ever saw the Harley Quinn cover. I mean, the Catwoman cover. So he did the Harley Quinn in this hairstyle, and I actually fell in love with this book, this cover. So, like I said, I'm a huge Adam Hughes fan. I love his stuff. So when I saw this book, I had to get it, but I didn't expect all 4 to get graded. So, alright, I'm happy they got corrected. Because on the site, it still says this one is title and this one is version. But it's corrected. Yes, I love this cover. I just absolutely love this cover. It's just, because I think what happened was, Adam Hughes did the Catwoman, and then some cosplay girl did this outfit with her hair like this, and she was holding it. So I guess Adam Hughes followed that cosplay girl, and he did this version. So, alright. Awesome. Alright, that made my day. Glad I didn't have to send those back. Yeah, I think you guys will like my display room once it's done. I've been working on it. So everything's going to have a graded comic book next to it with a statue. It's coming along pretty well. Put these over here. Alright, so I guess we're done for today. I'm pretty happy with the hair so far. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to work on her hair a little bit more during the week. I'm going to try to start doing more strands because, like I said, it's going to take forever to do this just on Fridays. But as far as her abs go, once I prime this up, I think it's look pretty good, and then I'll know what I need to fix on it. Like I said, I might have to do putty in here and some putties and stuff and sort of clean this up a little bit more. I try to just stream every Friday, and sometimes during the weekdays I do random streams if I'm at the desk. So it's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, I'm tapped out for today. I'm gonna call it. So you guys have a good weekend. Thanks for stopping by. And like I said, during the week I'll try to do another random stream. Alright guys, have a good weekend.